Hello. In this video, I wanted to look at doing parallel compression in Reason using Reason stock devices. I wanted to talk about why I would want to do parallel compression and show how easy it is and give a demonstration. So in my last video, we looked at using Pulveriser as a analog style preamp tone conditioner where we put a standard dry drum loop from EXO through it like this, and we added some saturation, stroke soft clipping, and a little bit of compression to give it some analog tones, smooth out any sort of digital edges, but also to bring up the loudness. We're rounding the peaks out primarily with the soft clipping, the saturation the dirt brings, a little bit of squash, and that reduces our crest factor, our dynamic range. So the peaks of the signal, the transients like the drum hits, are closer to the body of the sound. So we've got some nice analog tone with a little bit of crunch, but we're also conditioning the signal so that other processors downstream, like compressors and limiters, have a easier time. These signals that have got a lower crest factor, they've still got nice transient information. We've not dulled it or killed the transients, but we've just made it a little bit easier to process. So I'll just show you what we had there with the pulverizer. So this is it dry, standard EXO drum loop, and it's coming in, these meters on 100% accurate, it's coming in about -7 dB peak, nice level for mixing, and we've got a LUFS of about 25, -25. So just turn this on, a little bit of dirt, a little bit of squash, and we can see our peak level is still the same, a peak level matched, but we can also see that we've got a 3 dB, 3 LUFS louder, and we can still hear our transients. Pause that. I can still hear our transients are nice and snappy. There's a little bit more body. Yeah, so I wanted to expand on that by bringing some more body into the signal using parallel compression. And parallel compression is like a sort of cousin to upwards compression. They are different, but they're sort of the end goal is the same. That what we're doing is looking to actually bring up the body of the signal or the quieter parts of the signal. We're not like normal compression. We're attenuating from the top of the signal, so we're interfering, if you like, with the transients, which can sound great, you know, if you're really slamming some drum transients with like a Zener limiter. It's the sound, but it's very much got tonal qualities, you know, if you do it. I mean, there are transparent compressors there, but you can really color it. Whereas if you're doing parallel compression, you are blending in a signal, same signal, but it's been compressed, trying to get rid of the transient information, keep the body information, and then we blend that in with wet and dry. I mean, in the past, we'd have to do all sorts of sort of bus routing, sends and returns, but modern plugins, most of them have got a wet and dry, so we would just blend it in. And I could do that with another pulverizer, but it's not the most ideal compressor because it's not that fast, so it can, yeah, you can really slam it, but yeah, the transient can come through. What's a really good compressor for this is the 1176, because it's so fast that it can get ahead of the waveform, and it can it can sort of behead the transient before it even gets anywhere, so we can really smooth it out. You can, you know, your normal drum sample will look like it's peaks and troughs, but if you really slam it with an 1176, it starts to look like a sausage, and that can sound really slammed, but when you start to blend that in underneath a signal that's got the original signal that's got rich transient information, the net effect is that it just blends in underneath and brings the body up, and we're going to look at that. So the compressor I've chose to do this is the good old SSL style SSL style compressor, track compressor, not gate compressor. It's got a gate on it, and we're going to put it in fast mode. And also I wanted to show you a bit of a gotcha here. I'll probably talk about this in further videos. What I would call a compression crime scene. So yeah, my intent is to really slam it. I'm using fast compression. I've got a high ratio, thresholds right down, so it's digging in. Fast release, so the body of the sound comes up after the transient. But I wanted to take a look at this I've got the Amiga Master Clipper here. I'm not using it for clipping, I'm just using it for the waveform display. We can see what's going to happen to our transient information. So if we look at the waveform display, I've just got a little crossfader here where I can crossfade in the dry signal coming from the pulverizer, and then the signal this side coming from the output of this compressor. So let's have a look at the waveform without any parallel compression on. There we go, you can see the attacks and the tails. Now I'm going to engage this compressor fully wet. I'm going to really slam it, and this is where you'll see something quite interesting. And they say mix with your ears, but I think this is an exception. I'll show you. We're really slamming it, but what we can see is what I call these little digital needles. That's where the attack is just not quite fast enough. The first wave cycle or two are actually getting through the compressor. Let's have a look at that again. And look, I can actually clip this, and we're not really going to hear that much difference. So yeah, the net effect of that is that you're increasing your crest factor for no net gain, because those transients are virtually inaudible. Yeah, you get downstream, you're giving your limiters, compressors, whatever, a much harder time. And that's a bit of a gotcha with sort of medium fast compression. Beware the digital needles. So luckily with this one, and I don't think this is on the original SSL track compressor, but we've got this peak, and that makes it act much more like a 1176. In fact, I think this is the detector actually looks at the wave cycle itself. So as soon as the waveform gets over the threshold, it's starting to slam down. So let's have a look before and after. Needles. No needles. A couple of little needles, but yeah, we've not got that problem. So yeah, we have a really slam signal. Let's have a listen to the original signal. Tight and punchy slam signal. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with the dry signal, and we're going to blend the slammed signal underneath. It doesn't take a lot, but let's just bring that in. I mean, we could bring it too far and we're starting to lose the transient information. So I don't know, somewhere around there. And I'm just going to take a minute to peak match this so we can do some comparisons. There we go. So, signal without parallel compression. Still got the original pulverizer doing its thing. Signal with. Without. With. And we can hear that it's almost like someone's turned the reverb up. We're getting more of the room sound come through, but also if we listen closely, everything sounds a bit fuller. The kick sounds a little bit fuller. There may be a little bit of crunch coming there through there from the slam. Let's have another listen. Try. Parallel. Try. Parallel. So there we go. I mean, all these devices here, just measurement. Basically, what I've got is my original pulverizer unit, and then I've got this parallel compression, just a track compressor, and I'm just blending it in with the wet and dry. Dead simple. Great way to increase the body and make a sound fuller. So thank you very much. Signing out.